In this podcast, Rishav Gupta reveals the dark truths about AI product management which people never talk about. So let's get into it. If you are new to my channel, then click on the subscribe button.
Welcome, Rishav. So I've been following you from quite a while on LinkedIn, and I'm really excited to always see that your post always reveal the hidden truths of product management. What is your take? Like, why did you decide to go into that part? And what is that one most single uncomfortable truth that you know about being a product management right now?
Sure. So thank you so much, Rupinder, for inviting me. I've been following you, your YouTube channel. So kudos to you for, bringing out
Thank you so
such
much.
content out. Since you asked me like how I stumbled upon writing these harsh realities. So when I wanted to transition into product management, I went to LinkedIn, read all the blogs. It was full of frameworks, contexts, etc. But when
Yeah.
I joined, it was like totally opposite. Like I
Hmm.
don't know, like I can't recall when was the last time I used a framework.
Hmm.
I read while transitioning or solving case studies, etc. Might have used Moscow at best
Hmm.
while prioritizing the roadmap, but apart from that, I have not used any frameworks like circles, AAR, and all that fluff.
Hmm.
That made me think like why nobody's writing about what happens on a day-to-day basis in a PM's life. And hence, if you look at my LinkedIn, if you look at any of my posts, you will not find one post where you will find fluff or
Yeah.
any such framework or a case study, etc., etc.
Hmm.
And since your second question was around like what is one thing that is missing currently in product management, uh, I would say that a lot of PM they focus on solutions. So if you look at aspiring PMs, if you look at a couple of boot camps, courses that are running on LinkedIn, and if you look at the portfolios, the slide decks that people put up online in which
Hmm.
they present their breakdowns, etc., like Blinkit
Hmm.
breakdown, Swiggy tear down, etc., you will see half a slide or maximum one slide on why and the problem, and
Hmm.
rest everything will be full of solutions, mockups, screen designs, UX, GTM, which is like not even the core job. Like
Hmm.
80% of your slides should focus on the problem and how
Right.
did you arrive at that particular problem and why is that a problem.
Hmm.
Your job is not to create mockups. Your job is not to create those prototypes. It is if you are sure with what problem you're going to begin with and solve it, then all of those things help passing down your vision to the team. Like this is how you envision it to work. But again, that's not your job. There
Hmm.
are other teams to sort it out. So you should only focus on problems. And considering if you look at the title AIPM now on LinkedIn, and you will see endless posts describing three sorts of categories in this, in which first one are the PMs who are using LLMs or AI tools.
Right.
Second one is who are working on basic chatbots, and third one is who is working on advanced features.
Hmm.
Again, my entire problem with this is not core product management. A product manager's job is to not get deep into solutioning, into models, into etc. It's good if you are, but that should not come at the cost of sacrificing your core job, which is
Hmm.
talking to customers, validating a problem. And again, you can't, my job is to convert customer problem into organizational language so that
Correct.
people inside can understand it. Customer will not have a problem that chat GPT 5.6 is not solving my problem with this parameter and this temperature. Hence, as a PM, I should worry about temperature models, evals, and this is how it will work. That's not my job. That
Hmm.
is not a customer problem at all. I know role is evolving, but it should not come at the cost of sacrificing your core job. So
Right. Right.
that's my point of view.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point you have raised. And also, I have noticed several places that frameworks, I mean, you were mentioning in the very start that frameworks are not actually, that much useful in our job. But for the aspiring product managers who actually want to go into this either traditional roles or AI roles, these frameworks do set a kind of a baseline of how they should start thinking. So, for example, if I talk about, like you mentioned, Moscow, even if we talk about AARR, so these kind of frameworks basically give us how one person or, like a person who has no clue of the practical job, these frameworks give them a view of how they should start approaching to a particular problem. So isn't that a bit of kind of a controversial that or debatable that framework should, like an aspiring PM should never learn frameworks, they should only focus on the problem, or they should at least get an understanding of those frameworks, or I mean they should like completely, I mean just maybe मतलब रट्टा लगा ले बस frameworks का, should that be kind of thing that should happen? So what are your thoughts?
Understanding or knowing about a framework is beneficial, but again, if you're trying to fit every problem into a framework, which is pretty evident in interviews that I have taken,
Hmm.
is not a solution. So what
Exactly.
I tell all the aspirants or all the people who reach out to me for help, my simple funda is like create your own portfolio website. That is your entire project. Do everything around it. Like what can you do to from an analytics point of view on that website? Can you track your daily visitors? Can you see the heat map where people are going, where people are not going? Are they even looking at your portfolio? So that becomes your entire project, which you can showcase. So this helps two ways. Like you will create your own portfolio, and second is you are PMing a real problem on your portfolio to bring in more visitors. It can be anything, like depending on your interview and your job situation, it can be anything, but that's the entire idea.
Got it, got it. Cool. Okay, so now one question I have for the people who are actually, I mean, like how do you share insights with the candidates who are actually trying to break into product management? So what should be that a kind of not actually I can say a framework or a roadmap, but what exactly do you share? What path they should follow to come into product management? It can be traditional or AI both.
Okay. So my first question to aspirants is why do they want to move into product? And 95% of them that I have spoken to will say something like because they are paid well. I don't know who has created that myth on LinkedIn, probably the bootcamps or the people who are selling all those courses, but that's not the case. So people want, so there is this entire perception that PMs don't do anything. Engineers who can't code, they come into PM. Bad designers who can't design, they come into PM, which is entirely wrong.
Wrong, yeah.
And the second myth is that they are paid very well. So if you will get to know in the first 5 minutes of speaking to somebody who wants to break into product management, whether they genuinely want to break into product management or they just want to transition out of their current ecosystem and just want to try it out for better pay.
This is a very practical way to learn how Rishabh teaches. So I'm going to share Rishabh's link into the description. You can go and check it out and take his mentorship. I like you can already hear from him like how practical he is and like all the myths that are already on the internet. So he basically like does not agrees to that. So I think you can also reach out to him and like get his mentorship on this like a product management or traditional PM. Yeah.
And bonus point for your audience, Rupinder, I have not charged anybody anything since I've started mentoring, and I still don't. Even if you go to my personal website, you can book a 30-minute session.
Amazing.
Free, of course, there's just a form that you need to pre-fill about what needs to happen in that session, if I need to be prepared or if there is anything that I can review beforehand. But that's about it. Like there's no fee.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Rishabh. I think that would be really helpful for the audience as well. So I've also read one post about yours that the decision making is a very crucial part in product management. But what actually happens in small organizations is that people or maybe the product managers have some authority, but they still have some stakeholders from which they want to get the approvals. But the problem in big tech companies is that you have to convince a very big room of stakeholders where you have to punch in everything. So what is your take on that for all the aspiring PMs or even the PMs who are struggling into the decision making part?
Got it. So there are two things to this. So one is alignment and one is agreement. We should always aim for alignment and not agreement. Agreement is you needs everybody's approval, everybody's nods. No. We should always aim for alignment. If you're sure about what you are solving and you have 100% faith and confidence in solving that, so just align everybody. And what's my go-to way to align everybody is have one-on-ones with everybody before the big meeting, align them and speak their language. Say, for example, if a product is launching, how will that benefit that particular team? The sales team is not concerned whether my NPS will improve or not. They're not concerned whether my X funnel will increase or not. Unless or until I transform the benefit for them, they will not align. So that is one crucial job. Have one-on-ones with those team members separately before the big meeting, and once the big meeting comes, it will be super smooth.
And that's a very good point I've mentioned. So now what is happening these days in the market is that a lot of product managers, the A product managers, or even the aspiring product managers, they are creating a lot of websites or their small projects, but they are right now failing at two things which I've noticed. Number one is distribution, which is a very big problem in AI space, which we already know. Second is since that person is an aspiring PM, they have not taken any mentorship, they can make some mistakes when they're trying to design that product. So what should be the approach for those people who have no mentors on their head, and how should they, even if they're building a project, what should be their approach in building those projects if they want to, they're trying to break into product management basically?
So same, this goes back to the first thing that I mentioned, like you should concentrate. If you're spending a month on this, you should spend around 24 days on the problem itself, whether what you are creating, is it solving anything or you're just doing it for the sake of a project. If it will not solve anything, there's no distribution. You can't create any distribution. And if it is a genuine problem, if people are facing, then there are other ways to, start that distribution, probably by reaching out to people. That's a very good step.
Got it. And another angle which is lot debatable, that product managers have no authority on other teams, but still they are held accountable for whatever they are delivering. So now let's talk about a feature. Let's say I'm working in a big tech company. Let's take an example of Instagram. I want to deliver a new feature. So in that place, there would be a lot of approvals that are going to happen. Since the scale is also big, it will take some time for the product manager to deliver something. So in that scenario, if that entire feature takes 1 quarter to finish, it will show that the product manager has done nothing because the progress is invisible. So what should a product manager do in that scenario till the time the feature goes live, so that they can start showing their authority that whatever they're doing is on track for what they want to deliver or meet the targets?
So see, if you would have spent, I know I'm repeating myself, but
Mhm.
hear me out. Like if you have spent a lot of time on the problem, focusing on the problem, and it is not something that has been passed upon to you by leadership, by your manager, you will be able to defend it for sure, because you know the in and out, you have done that research,
Mhm.
and you will have that data, that evidence, that testimonials, something in your
Mhm.
research that will back you up, and that will help you in the entire journey. But in the companies where product culture is broken, where some things are passed down from the leadership, from your manager, and you don't have that sort of conviction inside of you that this is not working out, then that might create a problem. And then you need to be diplomatic, and you can't just go and be like, मैंने तो नहीं बोला था ना मेरे को तो.
Mhm.
So yeah, as every role has plus and minuses, this is a big minus in
Mhm.
companies where the product culture is broken.
Yep, yep. I think that's a real challenge for all the product managers actually work in this kind of work culture. Yep, I've
Yeah.
also seen that with a lot of, I talk with a lot of PMs as well. So I think this is one of the biggest points that I can see. So at this place, like how can they see their progress? Like, oh, sorry, not see, basically how they can show their progress to all the stakeholders. Because on paper, it is moving, but practically, if you talk about the outcomes, it only starts moving when the product goes live, because after that, metric starts moving. So in that phase, when the feature is delivered, what should be a PM's approach in like winning the confidence of stakeholders?
I am going to be very blunt, like my entire LinkedIn profile. So in companies where product management is broken, PM defines for perception management. So it's
Okay.
how you narrate the entire story. It's how you communicate. For example, you might have created a small win for your team, but the way you communicate, the way you do that narration, the way you tell it to everybody, that matters a lot.
Hmm.
And you might have seen a lot of people who are bad at product, who are bad at product management. They know that feedback is coming, but they'll not do anything.
Hmm.
You might have seen they'll get promoted before you, for sure. You might
Yeah.
have seen. I have seen that in every company that I've worked so far, and I'm pretty sure most of your audience have also seen that people bad at product. But again, if they are bad at product, what they're doing is they're just maintaining their perception management. That's the PMing that they are doing. It varies from company to company, but those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I think I also had this follow-up question you covered already, that people who are actually bad at product, but they grow so fast in their career. It's all about, handling that perception, like how your stakeholders think about yourself. And I think if that is that PM's kind of, then this is the best way to grow into the, I mean, this field basically.
Right.
And it is also said that PM field is so much rewarding. Like you mentioned, people who can grow so fast, they basically handle that perception management very beautifully. So if it is a myth or it is actual reality, but I mean, you can clarify that. So it is often said that PM field is very rewarding. So, what exactly is that rewarding thing? Is it about the perks? Is it about the job, or it is about like what exactly people talk about that rewarding thing?
I think what PMs do is, if you consider a seesaw, here is the customer need and here is the organization impact that we are creating. So there, or you can say business value. So there needs to be a balance that PMs do. You
Hmm.
can't create something which is not business viable, and you can't do, like, if you tilt it this side, you can't have a business value if there's no customer need.
Hmm.
So creating that balance, finding that particular problem, that is very much rewarding. Like, if I consider my role, I currently handle TOEFL and GRE home edition globally. I
Hmm.
have seen pain points of people. People reach out to me directly on LinkedIn. My exam was cancelled because of XYZ reason. Can you look into it? But when we deep dive into the problem, we saw that genuine candidates were getting impacted because of X reasons.
Okay.
Say whatever XYZ reasons. And when we implemented the solutions to those problems that people were facing, so we have the bad actors out and the good people were not getting impacted. And then they also reach out. Our problem was solved. Now it is solved. That is the most rewarding thing.
So one question, Rishav, I have is around what is the current operating model, like how PMs are actually operating into the current scenario? Because a lot of PMs don't have visibility. Like if I'm a PM at some place, I don't know how the PM at a ABC place is working. So since you already talk with a lot of people, so what are your thoughts on that? Like how are PMs operating currently in these days?
What I have seen is that every PM job description, it says the same thing. You
Hmm.
will see all those buzzwords, stakeholder management, prioritization, roadmap, etc., etc. But when you come on the job never matches the job description.
Yeah.
So to help that out, I am building a an anonymous database of different countries, of different companies, and sending out uh, and asking every PM to just fill it up. It's anonymous, and
Hmm.
it will just turn those anonymous reports into benchmarks. How the week really gets split in different companies, who decides what gets built, RPMs measured on outcomes or activity. So you can think of it like a Glassdoor website,
Hmm.
but specifically for PMs. So whenever you want to switch, say for example, if I want to switch to company X, I'll just search my company X and see what PMs are doing in that company as of today.
I think that would be really helpful for all the product managers. You want to say something?
No, so it just shows the distribution,
Okay.
no
Okay.
reviews, nothing, just the median distribution.
Got it. So I have already seen Rishab's website. It is really amazing. Like I can now get a feel. Let's say I'm taking a company, for example, XYZ. I already know what is happening in that company because someone has put an anonymous review onto that. And there is nothing mentioned that who mentioned it. So you can feel free to check that out. I'm sharing the link in the description. So if you are already in the transition phase, you can check your company. If it is already there, then you can check out the reviews. If it's not there, then you can enter your reviews as well. So for the audience, I'm sharing the link in the description. They can go ahead and check it out in the description, and then they can understand how companies are actually operating for the PMs, if it is a right fit for you or not. So that you don't discover at a later stage when you're already there, you can already get to know it in advance. What is that one thing you will ask, or maybe like you can share with all the aspiring product managers who actually want to crack into the simplify this AIPM role? I mean, title means this technology basically. So, what should be one thing you can say to all the aspiring PMs?
Always focus on problems. And second thing is understand what the core role is, and don't get into the nitty-gritties of the other aspects which are around it, which a lot of companies ask you for, but that's not the core job.
Mhm.
That's one thing. And
Okay, one more thing. So right now, I have seen a lot of product managers who actually want to go into this AI role. They are again, I mean, I know what is your answer, but still I'm asking. So they are again going into the same thing of understanding all the technical details of artificial intelligence. So someone is saying that you need to know about the evals, you need to learn about how transformers work, how this models are built, just like that. So how much technical, like I can say theoretical knowledge they should have before they become an AI product manager?
see, I come from an engineering background. I used to code. I still code on the weekends
Hmm.
for fun, but having that technical depth, if you know the nitty-gritties, that gives you a great start point to build that bond with engineering
Hmm.
and have those conversations with them, which in turns build that trust. Once I have a saying like, everything can be built by engineering,
Yeah.
but provided that you need to give them the point problem, that
Hmm.
this is the focus problem that we are focusing on. And if even if things go wrong, I have worked early in my career where engineering teams were not honest with me. And even if you don't know coding, you might have seen other PMs struggling. Like they'll say that engineering has said 14 days of deadline for changing a small stuff.
Yeah.
Again, it
Yeah.
all depends on the relationship that you build, and having that theoretical knowledge so that you can chat with them during lunch, during their off time,
Hmm.
in probably sprint meeting, like brainstorm with them on the solution, provided that again focusing on the problem is done, that
Hmm.
part you've done your core job, then probably you should focus on this and it will be helpful.
Hmm. But I have like a different opinion here that I mean, understanding the problem is very a good thing, but what I think is if a product manager is actually spending time on brainstorming around the actual things that has to be implemented from the technical side, like with engineering time, a PM might burn their time by overcommitting themselves because they won't be able to then focus on the other aspects, like how they have to measure that, what key metrics they have to find, what all KPIs they need to take care. So I think that can be one topic or area which PMs should not focus on while talking with the engineering team. I'm understanding technically, I agree that it is good, but I don't think that it is actually that much helpful. Like, a PM spending time on the engineering aspect.
Maybe I'm an engineer, so I'm biased. But again, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, like if it is coming at the cost of you sacrificing your core job and then doing that stuff,
Hmm.
not helpful at all.
Yeah.
But if you do have bandwidth, if you have done your core job, if you're sitting with engineering, then nobody should have any problem.
Yeah, that's right, Ed. So I think we wanted to clear this point for our audience also. That's why I brought up this question so that PMs don't spend their time by like either burning out themselves by sitting with engineering, because if they have like technical background just like you, so they should not do that. They should focus on the first of all core PM job, which is actually about understanding the problems, understanding the exact customer persona they're solving for, and then only they should jump to other parts like KPI understanding and all those things. Then only if they get time they should sit with engineering and then talk about the solution brainstorming about that part. So just wanted to clarify for the audience. Yeah.
Right. And a simple example would be like I've seen a lot of posts on LinkedIn, on blogs that what is the problem with PMs, vibe coding, prototyping now? What is the problem?
Hmm.
There's no problem. If you are vibe coding, if you're prototyping to showcase your vision to somebody, validating a problem, go on, bang on.
Yeah.
But if you're doing that prototyping to create a solution,
That is wrong.
very wrong. Like,
Yeah.
why are you doing it? That's not your job.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've also seen this trend going on. I'm not sure, like some big influencers, I don't want to take their names, but they are focusing on a lot that a PM should do everything end to end. Like they also research the problem, think of everything, and then they build the prototype, start saying into production also. So I don't agree to that. It is actually useful because production is not a, like a basic thing that anyone should touch, even at the big scale or small scale. So what are your thoughts on to that?
I am aligned on what you are saying, but since I'm an engineer, so a little bit biased. Uh, if you are doing it after finishing all your work, it should not be a problem. And
Yeah, I agree, but the thing is, if a person is focused on the PM job, so there are a lot of technical details which engineers actually try to, like check. So there is a big team of engineers who is working on, getting the things onto production. And like, in big tech companies, there are a lot of dependent technical teams also which they communicate. So I think that might pose a challenge. I mean, this is what I think. But again, like I'm not sure like how this is actually happening right now in production, but
I don't think so. It is happening at all.
Mhm.
Don't believe everything that you see on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I agree to it. Yeah.
And another thing for aspiring PMs to think, since we are in the ending thoughts,
Mhm.
just think about this, like why you don't see any courses for current PMs. Probably you'll see one or two. And why do you see all the courses for aspiring PMs? That's a question that I leave your audience with
Yeah.
so that they save up some money.
Yeah. So let's see who can tell in the comments if that is actually helpful or not. So let's see that.
Yeah.
Okay. So amazing, Rishav. I think this information is definitely going to help a lot of aspiring product managers. So if anyone from the audience wants to connect with Rishav, so feel free to do it. Link is already there in the description. You can go and book a session. And I think you have to first of all understand why you want to break into product management. If your answer is convincing enough, then only I think Rishabh can help you to actually get into that. So try your best to first of all think through it. And I've also talked with a lot of product managers, like when I ask them this first question, like why they want to get into product management, their answer is like very vague. I like problem solving. I like operating at scale, just like that. Okay, I've never heard about being paid well, but these are very random things that I can hear. Like the things that product managers even don't do. So I think that is the very first clarity everyone should have. So before getting into PM side, I was very much clear what I'm looking for because my previous role was on the similar lines of product manager. So I was very much clear what I'm looking out of it of this role. So that's why I enjoy a lot, and talking with a lot of PMs also helped me a lot to grow as well. And I think that should be it. So thank you so much, Rishabh, for your time today. We'll connect soon.
Thank you.
So just like you saw, these kind of informative content I keep on posting. If you don't want to miss out all those content, then click on the subscribe button now and turn on the bell notifications. You will get to know each and everything about product management in AI space as well as traditional. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you and have a good day.